Hey there, it's JohnBerry555, and welcome to my review of Star Trek Strange New Worlds, Ghosts of Illyria. So this is the third episode of Season 1, and yeah, notice a bit of different setup. Well, the day the episode came out, I watched it, then recorded the review, figured I would record it the next day, pretty much, and all that. I was wiped the next day, and then I've been busy every day since, so I'm ready to recording this review the day the next episode comes out, which I haven't watched yet as of the recording of this video. So yeah, I put it into the Force Preserve and just shot this video real quick on my way home from work, because otherwise I don't think I was going to get to it today, especially because got to watch and record the review for the new episode of Strange New Worlds, and got 2 teaser trailers to react to Star Wars Andor and then Willow as well. So got 3 things I need to do today as well, so I'm gonna be busy. But yeah, so let's actually talk about the episode. So this episode has the main character they decided to focus on was number 1, Una, which you'll see in my thumbnail. I've actually kind of started doing this in the first episode, Captain Pike focus, so Pike's in the thumbnail. Episode 2, Uhura focus, Uhura. Well, Una's in the thumbnail today, and I don't know about the next episode because I haven't watched it yet, but it seems like to me is, while they're giving all the characters development in each of the episodes, it seems like in each episode so far, they're spotting the development of one particular character. So that is something very interesting, and I really am liking how this is very much a character-centric show. The main plot of the episode in terms of, like, you know, oh, we need to save a planet from a comet, or save a planet from this, or say get these records off before this ion storm hits. All those are very episodic, and I'm actually liking that. The main action is episodic, but the takeaways are not. The character development is not. And I really do like a good character-centric story, and this is very much fulfilling that for me. But yeah, so we learned that number 1, Una, is not human, but an Illyrian. And that is quite fascinating. I believe that might have been established in Beta Canon that she wasn't human before, so it's not a brand new thing by all accounts, but this is really the first time they're actually exploring it, and I'm really liking it. And the Illyrians have established to be a society who was very big on genetic engineering, and that put them at odds with the Earth and the Federation, which has a ban on it except for, in extreme circumstances. But what I really do like is how they established the Illyrians want to be a part of the Federation, so they're willing to use genetic engineering to undo the genetic engineering, which is quite fascinating. And because Una is an Illyrian, so she does have genetic engineering, though it seems like her main thing is she just has a very effective immune system. So effective that they couldn't even take a blood sample from her to synthesize a cure for the pathogen, the light-based pathogen that was impacting the crew, because her body had taken care of it so effectively that unless they had taken the sample like within a few seconds, it literally would not have been beneficial to do anything to actually help the crew. And speaking of, the crew gets infected by basically a infection that transmits via light, very differently, and we learned a lot of other stuff too. Pike and of course Spock are on the planet and during an ion storm, and Spock is just reading the records of the Illyrians and all that. It's actually quite good what they have there. And it's kind of established that the Illyrians on that colony, with their genetic engineering and all that, they somehow, when an ion storm hit, became energy-based beings, and those beings, they to protect Pike and Spock from the ion storm, which is very fascinating. So the colonists become basically creatures in the storm. It's quite interesting, but so we can definitely see that the Illyrians through all this has splintered. So you got those like Una who, are kind of ashamed of their past and genetic engineering history and all that, and how keeping it under wraps because Star Trek frowns upon it, while others like, what can we do to undo it so we can become part of the Federation? And others are like, okay, we'll just deal with it. It does seem like all these different ways to present which is, I think, a good thing. it's not a society of hats where everyone has the same culture and all that that's very common. I'm glad that this is episode kind of shows that the Illyrians are not quite like that. There's a few other things that I would like to touch on. One thing is we learn more about the current chief of security. I forget her first name, but she's a descendant of Khan Noonien Singh. Or the Sun. I always mess it up. But anyhow, and it's just she's a descendant. She's not. There's nothing, at least to our knowledge, nothing special. Like she got picked on because of her last name and all that, which is kind of tragic. And when she hears that, that Una #1 is an Illyrian, or more specifically, genetically engineered, it really destroys the trust that those two had, especially on Khan's end. And we find out that's because, she was bullied for her last name. Though, I do wonder if because we haven't had a character-focused story on her yet, so it's possible that we could get some more development on her, and I hope we get that soon. Maybe in this episode that's coming out the day I'm recording, for all I know. But yeah. Oh, I totally forgot to turn my light on. Oh well. I got a pretty good natural light here as is. But anyhow, that's actually where I'm going to end this review. I kind of touched on all my stuff. Oh, I can't believe I just forgot this too. And we discovered that the chief medical officer, I forget his name, but he's using the medical transporter to keep his daughter in suspended animation until a cure for her illness, a form of cancer, I believe what it was discovered. Very interesting, and he says as long as periodically rematerialized. So that actually does kind of indicate that, yeah, transporters can be used for suspended animation, however, the subject needs to be rematerialized. And that does bring us to Scotty, because he got suspended in transporter animation, and him and somebody else were the only two survivors of a ship crash. He survived in suspended animation in the transporter, the other guy didn't. Who knows what would have happened if, they was able to rematerialize every now and then. Though he used a slightly different technique of locking the transporter in a self-diagnostic routine. Still quite ingenious and very fascinating. But I did like how they kind of call back to that, or call forward, I should say, without it being too overt or weird. So yeah, that's my general thoughts on the episode. I hope you enjoyed my review. If you did, please be sure to give a like and check out all the links down below. In the meantime, thank you for watching, and as always, have a good day, a good night, wherever y'all live long and prosper. Bye!